A little cider, and my throat is getting, I don't want to say crusty, kind of crusty. Gunky is the word. Both very cute. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here today, my name is Odds, and we're talking about Eternals. So if you're new here today, I would love for you to subscribe. I do 2 to 3 videos a week, beauty, film, vlogs, specifically Marvel, Star Wars, lots of nerdy stuff on this channel, so I'd love for you to stick around. I am 16 subscribers away from 400, so I'd love for you to stick around and help me get to that milestone. I took notes on my phone. I tried to remember when I was watching the movie, like if I had a notepad, I would have been taking notes. But I just tried to remember things, so they should be in relative order. I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on the movie as a whole and a kind of breakdown. So I'll do the kind of breakdown first for any big thing that I noticed. Also, I'm going to go right in with spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, check off. Or if you don't want to know, check off. We're talking about both post-credit scenes as well, which have both been spoiled online, so if you've avoided those, congratulations. The movie starts with an opening crawl of text. Did not think it started off on a good point to have an opening crawl of text. Not like a Star Wars opening crawl, like where, you know, da 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 da, all like it flashes at you and has like this nice musical soundtrack going on at the same time. No, it's just kind of a silent crawl of just like somebody typed into Microsoft Word this scroll of text, which seemed to completely go against what the Eternals and the Deviants were in the comics. It stated that, you know, the Celestials, the Eternals worked for the Celestials and helped them fight off Deviants who came from another part of space, which is not how the Deviants and the Eternals were in the comics, and we find out later in the movie it's a surprise to the Eternals that the truth of what happened. Shang-Chi shows up in the M of the Marvel Studios logo. When the M is turning, you'll see Shang-Chi when he has the 10 rings. Pretty cool. Just a side note, Shang-Chi is coming to Disney Plus next week, I think, or I think it's November 12th, so that would be next week, yeah. Very exciting. I loved Shang-Chi. I think that was the best Marvel movie this year. I guess we'll see with Spider-Man No Way Home. I didn't love the Deviant design at first. But it grew on me because you realize that they can evolve. So they evolve into different forms. They start as like these super four-legged animalistic creatures that seem like mindless, you know, the mindless alien horde thing that is always a problem with superhero movies, but then they do become more aware as the movie continues. So once they evolve, they get a little bit more, they adapt a little bit more. So we'll go over their adaptation or their evolution in a second. So we do see them, they arrive in Mesopotamia, they help fight the Deviants, and then they help the human race evolve, which is part of the mission. So we come to find out that what the Eternals were told was wrong. They're not there to protect humans from the Deviants. They're there to basically kind of, they kind of are, but they're mainly there to help human beings advance to a point where the celestial host is able to take over the planet. He will be born out of the Earth's core and just emerge and completely destroy the planet, called the Emergence. Now this is pretty accurate to the comics. This is what would happen. We do find out that the Celestials created both the Eternals and the Deviants. The Eternals are more like robotic than the Deviants, who seem more like actual creatures who can evolve. That's a main point that is brought up, is that Deviants can evolve, Eternals cannot. So with the Eternals, they are already in their bipedal, humanistic looking form, and they don't really evolve from there. We do go into that a little bit with Cersei. But the Deviants end up absorbing two of the Eternals. I'm just going to try to power through with my ace. So my heat is running and it's very, very loud. So Ajak and Gilgamesh end up dying and are absorbed by the Deviants, which cause them to evolve. To one of the Deviants, to the point where he can speak and retain some of the memories of both Ajak and Gilgamesh. So that comes into play later. Bill Skarsgård does end up playing the main deviant who evolves to be bipedal. Bipedal means you walk on two feet, anyway, if you didn't know that. And just me, like, woman-splaining to you guys, in case you don't know, that's what bipedal means. Deviants kill Ajak, Deviants kill Gilgamesh. This whole other time, too, I should mention that Thena is having flashbacks of previous worlds. They don't know exactly what's going on at that, like, at the beginning, but she's having flashbacks of it all ending and everyone dying before the emergence from previous planets. So that's what happens. Every time they assist in an emergence, they get their memories wiped. So Thena's memory wipe was just pretty shoddy. So Gilgamesh was taking care of her, but ends up being killed by one of the deviants, and the powers are absorbed. And then he has certain memories retained in the deviant form that then kind of is used to taunt Thena. Oh, Richard Madden always plays a villain. Icarus is bad. Or in the eyes of the Celestials, good. But we find out that he killed Ajak because she wanted to stop the emergence, and he wanted the emergence to continue on. So he then tries to kill the rest of the Eternals. Does not succeed in killing any of them. I'm kind of shocked. Gilgamesh does die, but it's not at the hands of that. He kills Ajak, but he doesn't end up killing any of the others, even though there's a battle that ensues between all of them. I was pretty positive he killed Druig, but Druig then came back, so he did not kill Druig. So yeah, he is on the Celestial side after all of this with everybody, and his weakness ends up being his love for Cersei. So he's not able to stop Cersei because he loves her too much, even though she's with Dane Whitman. The Stark brother is back again. Now, I will say the device that Phastos makes seems a lot like the 10 rings. He makes rings for all of them that they all end up wearing. Bracelets, I should say. So 10 rings end up being bracelets. So I'm kind of wondering if possibly the 10 rings are product of the Eternals, because we don't know their origin. This was something that was brought up in the post-credit scene for Shang-Chi, that it's very old and technology they've not seen before, so it could possibly be from the Eternals or some sort of celestial technology, which would be the same thing. Now, in the final fight, Makari does pretty much hold her own against Icarus because she is a super speedster, so she's able to kind of get the jump on him a lot of the time. Whereas, like, he pretty much takes down Druig pretty easily, but it's, you know, like I said, it was Cersei's, his love for Cersei that brought him down. I haven't been mentioning Kingo. He's there kind of as comedic, for his comedic purposes. He's filming like a documentary on the Eternals and with his cameraman. but then ends up leaving because he doesn't agree with stopping the emergence. So he is on Icarus's side, but he won't kill people to prove his loyalty to the Celestials. So he goes off on his own. At the end of everything, Sprite also goes with Icarus as well because she's in love with Icarus, which it was funny, nobody else picked up on that, except for Kingo. At the end, Icarus literally flies himself into the sun, like the man who flew too close to the sun. Sprite ends up being turned into a human, because I guess Cersei can transmutate the eternal form into a human form. Those special, like, jacked up powers that they get when connected to a Celestial don't make that much sense, but it's a Marvel movie, it's fine. Cersei goes back to stay with the people, and she's gonna go back with Dane Whitman, who is the Black Knight. We'll see that in a little bit. And then we have Athena, Druig, and Makari, who all go off to find other Eternals to let them know what is actually happening in the world with the Celestials so they can basically turn on the Celestials. Now, they get taken by Urasham, who is the Celestial they work for, who created them, and he's like, I'm gonna come back and get you. You're fine for now, but I'm gonna come back and judge this planet. So, God, Earth really be going through it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that is how the film ends. And then we have two post-credit scenes. The first one is with Druig, Makari, and Athena. And they are traveling on their ship to look for other Eternals. They haven't found anybody. And then, yep, we have Eros and Pip, who Eros is the brother of Thanos, who makes the move on Athena, and is, yes, played by Harry Styles. I can't believe that got spoiled and was accurate. I don't know how I feel about this. I like Harry Styles. I don't know how I feel about him as an actor. And his fans are kind of annoying, so I just don't want to deal with that. But, yeah, Harry Styles is in the MCU, whether you like that or not. That's what it is. And then the second post-credit scene is with Dane Whitman, and he opens the sword, the sword of the Black Knight, and which is a, emergency awesome. New Rockstars have great videos all about Black Knight. So that character is like a title that has been passed down for centuries with his family that he briefly teased, but he has the sword that is like, it's like a magical sword. So, yeah, he goes to go touch it, and then we hear the voice of somebody being like, you really want to do this? And streets are saying it's Blade. Forgive me because I haven't read the Black Knight comics. But at some point Dracula replaced Dane Whitman's blade with a fake one, and the real blade came to be in Iraq and was secured by the Vatican after it was found by Opus Dei in a purging of a vampire nest. So, yes. So Dracula and vampires are connected to the ebony blade. So that is where the blade connection would be. So that does make sense, especially if the blade is a fake and it's not actually the ebony blade that he's looking for. It's the fake one that was replaced by Dracula. So that could be it. It could also be that there's some curse on the blade that makes it, I wouldn't say turns him into a vampire, but makes him related to a vampire. There was a vampire joke in this, so we're getting more references to vampires. When we meet Kingo, he says that the cameraman thought he was a vampire at first and tried to stake him through the heart. So we're getting a lot of vampire references in the MCU. So yeah, we're getting that. It's coming, because Blade is coming, so we're going to need to get some vampires here as soon as possible. Now, we are getting Werewolf by Night, we are getting Moon Knight, so we're getting more supernatural elements into the MCU, which I really appreciate. It's really cool. Some more darker stuff, which I think we can go into with Black Knight. We'll see how it is. I don't know how likely it'll be for the MCU to do something dark. I would love for them to do something dark. You know, it's kind of funny because DC gets like frowned upon because they're too dark of a universe. But sometimes that's nice. It seems more gritty and more realistic than like everything's happy-go-lucky. And certainly that's not this movie, so don't take that as me saying this. And I love Marvel movies, but like a lot of them do have a specific tone that doesn't really change. So that's my opinion on that. Overall, I thought this movie was good. I didn't think it was great. It might get better on a rewatch. I thought there was some issues with pacing. It was kind of all over the place. It was a little bit slow, especially at first. Yeah, there is a sex scene in this. I thought it was awkward. I think most heterosexual sex scenes are awkward though, so that's just me. That's on me. Two things Richard Madden's gonna do is he's gonna have sex scenes and he's gonna be evil. He does not take anything less. From the Marvel movie releases this year, I'd say it's in the middle. I liked it better than Black Widow, but not as much as Shang-Chi. And then that'll adjust when Spider-Man comes out. So we'll see about that. I would love to see spin-offs with Thena and Gilgamesh because I thought their relationship was really heartwarming. I did tear up when Gilgamesh died. So that was her man. They didn't seem to have much of a romantic relationship, but they really had a relationship there, which was really great. And then Druig and Makkari, they are so sweet. You know, they were hyping up this relationship between Icarus and Cersei, which I just didn't care about. I cared about like the Thena and Gilgamesh and Druig and Makkari. I thought that was great. Another thing I will mention, everybody's got a different accent in this, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with casting actors with different accents. I'm not saying they all have to have an American accent, but it was a little jarring at times, I will be honest, when especially when like Druig and Icarus were arguing, see a Scotsman and an Irishman argue with each other. Oh man, there's a lot of accent going on. Yeah, this is a very long video. I did not expect this, but it's here. This is what happens when I take notes and I'm actually like, I wrote notes and I have thoughts about this movie instead of just being like, it was good. So yeah, this is that. that is that. This is this. Hello. It is Friday night. I should have 3 videos next week. I might have 2 because I might push back the Disney Day video until Monday. Not this upcoming Monday, the next Monday. I probably will do that because I'm working on that Saturday as well, like all day when Disney Day is. So we're gonna have lots of trailers and stuff. I'll probably do, honestly, do a Marvel video and a Star Wars video. I think that's what I did last year. So stay tuned for that. That'll be up in about a week. Also have my apartment tour I'm going to film, even though like it's not all decorated as much as I want it to be. It is what it is. And my makeup wish list for the holidays. I'm going to go ahead and do that video as well. We're going to talk about some gift kits and stuff like that. So definitely stay tuned. And then we're back to more Marvel and Star Wars stuff the week after that. So I would love for you to subscribe and stick around. And I will see you on Monday with a new video. Bye!